Now, I didn't intend to retire by 33 years old, but I did, and it has impacted my life in ways that I couldn't even have begun to think of when that happened. So here's my story, how I accidentally found myself retired at age 33, but more importantly, how that has shaped everything else going forward, and the lessons I think that could be an encouragement to you as well. Hey there, friends. I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and I thought I'd just have a little chat with you all. Welcome to so many new friends here around the channel, and to everyone else that YouTube decides to put this in front of. We are here still surveying and dealing with the devastation that was Hurricane Helene in Western North Carolina. I'm out surveying. We have got more trees that I have found that have come down, and it feels like no matter how hard we try, there's still more that needs to be dealt with here in the relief efforts. But as I came out and was surveying a bit, I thought it was the perfect time to share how I accidentally found myself retired at 33 years old, how I got there, and how that has really been such a profound, just pivotal point of my life that really has opened up this whole second act of life, sorry, more down trees, and really just fulfilled so much more in my life than my career or owning businesses ever did. And so I got my first job at 15, 16 years old, typical kid, trying to find a job, get some independence, do all that stuff. I actually ended up married and becoming a mom at 17. At 20 years old, we had moved completely across the country from California to North Carolina and jumped into corporate life. We were both, climbing the corporate ladders, traveling into the city, doing all the things, promotions, and, just all of the typical job stuff one does. And it really was crazy because by about 25, it really was weighing on me how unfulfilled life was. We worked so hard to make the money, to have the right house and the right neighborhood, only we were never in it because we were always working to make enough money to afford it. We had just had our second child, and I hated how, work just pulled me away from them so much. My husband wanted to be there and be active, and it was so hard to balance corporate life with fatherhood and our marriage and just family life in general. And so at 25, we actually started our own business, which was an amazing and fascinating story, and it was wildly successful. I mean, it really was fantastic. But we did that for a while, and the more and more that we pursued that work aspect of life, which honestly for most of us, right? You work until you retire and then you get to enjoy some life, right? That's kind of what we've always been told, that life is about coming of age, working. You have to have money, right, to do the things you need to do. Got it. And then work is kind of just your life. You enjoy your weekends, you work and do what you have to do, you get the promotions, you get the better jobs, do the different things. And then eventually you hit this age in your, 60s, sometimes even 70s, depending on, what you've done, where you finally get to retire. Well, at age 33, I found myself retired. It's a long story and we don't have to go through all of it, but all the pieces just came together. We had owned our own business. It was very, very successful. And then it came to a close after we had our fourth child. And we've shifted since then. We've been in ministry full time. I do many different things, right? Because just because you've retired from the more traditional ways of work, be it how I retired from corporate life at age 25 and retired from, even business ownership by 33, we didn't retire because we had so much money saved up that we could just, ride off into the sunset and we're, secret millionaires or something like that. We retired because we really saw more and more through and through in everything that was going on in our lives, how important it was to just live life, to not have to make the sacrifice on the front side and that value of life piece because we had to be so focused on the monetary side of things. We chose, maybe blindly, to take the monetary hit to instead focus on the deeper aspect of life, the true fulfillment that we found in ministry, in our children, in our family, and in one another. And so that's where I say I accidentally retired at age 33. It wasn't intentional. We didn't plan for it. Like I said, we don't have a pile of money in the basement that we're pulling from. Instead, we saw this moment in life where it kind of all the pieces came together, and we went, what are we doing? What is the purpose for life? Is the purpose of life truly like God put us all here to just work all the time, give all of our days away, live for the weekend or maybe a vacation if you can swing it, see our kids in the evening and, in a couple days shuffled between activities? Is that really what we want to do? Is that life? Is that where we find fulfillment and joy and that inner peace? Because we tried doing all those things and we hated it, to be honest. I want to spend time with my husband. I want to be with my kids. I want to not have my days just, being like run by some overlord of a boss or a school system or someone outside telling me how I need to spend my time. To me, that just wasn't where I wanted to be. I wanted to be with my children. I wanted to have time with my husband. I wanted to go do the things that we just felt called to do. And so I ended up retired at 33. Now, it doesn't mean that I do nothing and we just sit around. I mean, I make YouTube videos, we've done different things here. We've, run a church. We've served in ministry in different aspects. We've done many different things, of course. But not with that key focus and aspect of, career and what are we doing and next job and moving up the levels. And so I think as we, like I said, it all kind of connects because going through Hurricane Helene, the devastation, we've got stuff everywhere as, 2 months out, we're still removing mold, pulling out drywall, taking down trees, everywhere I look, you guys can't see all of this, but in all of this, there are trees just kind of everywhere. Our barn has to get rebuilt and all these things you have going on. And it's fascinating though to see the blessing that early retirement was. We see so many around us here and businesses are gone. Things have just been utterly destroyed and shut down and everything here with the hurricane and the total devastation we're seeing in North Carolina. But then we look at us and we go, wow, it didn't really affect us in that way. It's definitely affected us. Like we definitely have a lot that we're dealing with and it's very overwhelming. But we're not scrambling like others are scrambling. Because early retirement and this entirely new way of living has really equipped us in so many ways. It's equipped us for a scenario like this, where jobs are gone, all of this has happened, and we're still moving forward because we don't rely on those like we used to. We've drastically changed our lives, not because we have a whole bunch of money, not because we scored some lucky ticket and have, some pension we're living off of, but because we intentionally chose to prioritize and live our life in a radically different way so that we could live a truly fulfilling life, a truly rich life that doesn't come from a lot of money, but a lot of inner peace and joy. And so going through these hardships, yes, there are difficulties, but it also is always an opportunity to look around and see where there is immense blessing. There's ways to serve, there's ways to get involved. And that's so much more rich and beautiful than any sort of, backup job we could try to scrounge together. And I think in all of this and going forward, the things that really this has just brought up to us as we're facing all of this is remembering why we retired accidentally in the first place. The whole reason we had been on that different path and doing those things the different way was because we were looking for something so much deeper in life. And I think that regardless of where you are, how old you are, if you're retired, not retired, thought of it, didn't think of it, whatever it might be, it is possible to say, you know what? I don't have to do this just because it's what everyone else is doing. I don't have to do this just because it's what they say, the system is. You can live different. You can go for those things that truly bring that fulfillment and peace and joy and purpose in your life. It can look radically different, and that's okay. And so these are the types of things, this just stewardship and sustainability and living just a beautiful and full life that we're going to keep talking about. And so if you want to join me for all of this, if you have any questions, leave them down below. You want to see the videos that are going to be coming out and just life here around the property and everything that we have going on, be sure when you hit subscribe, turn on those little bell notifications, because I am so excited as we're pulling our pieces together here and trying to deal with all of this and get all of these things kind of put back together. I cannot wait to share more with you all. Yep, retired at 33 was never in my playbook. My husband and I always laugh. I would have been that woman in New York working like crazy. Y'all, I'm a workaholic. Like if I am left to my own devices, I just go, 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 go. But seeking true meaning in life, true fulfillment, true peace and joy, seeing the Lord work in my life and heal in ways that I didn't know were possible. Seeing my priorities shift the more I grew and matured, and I leaned heavily into just my walk with the Lord and reading scripture and applying it literally to my life, and just seeing these pieces come together that was like, wow, like, why have I been doing it so backwards all this time? I didn't even know that this is where I should have been. This is fantastic. But the more that transformed me, the more everything in my life truly became richer. And not because I was gaining more promotions, but because that inner peace that matters so much was being transformed. And so if a couple of know-nothing kids like my husband and I from small town Southern California can make it to the other side of the country and build a family and a life, I promise you anyone can do it. We're nothing special. We don't come from money. We don't, right? Like there's no special thing. I don't have a Ivy League education. I actually dropped out of college, so I don't even, have anything cool to try to, push out there. But if we can do it, you can do it. Is there anything wrong with working a 9-to-5? No, not at all. There's many great jobs out there and great services. I think that's wonderful. But for some of us, we know that we are giving our lives away to a job when that is not what we have been called to do. We see the simplicity and slow living and just what really matters and how far our society as a whole has gotten from these things, and we yearn for that completeness. And if that's you, you found the right place, friend, because that's me too. And finding the peace and beauty and simplicity is something that I think we all should be able to find in our lives. For me, it came with an early retirement, but not from life. Retirement from giving my life to the corporate world and the hustle and the bustle, and instead focusing somewhere that has been far more rewarding than anything else I did. And I did some cool stuff in my corporate days. This, by and far, best place I've ever been. I'm glad you were able to come and hang out with me for this walk. I got a mental note of a whole host of trees that we got to get out here and get cleared up and add to our list in the recovery efforts. If you guys would like to help and get involved here with the relief efforts in Western North Carolina, I'll leave you guys a playlist on the next screen of more information, things that you can watch, and there's a bunch of links down in the description of ways that you can help us and our community here as we continue on in the process. And you know it. I'll see you in the next video. We'll keep talking about this. We'll keep growing and lifting one another up, because we should all be living well right where we're at. See you in the next one. Bye, friends.